how much do you really hate what you're doing right now to go, I'm going to start something, right? I'm going to get started right here today, and you're going to see, things that just naturally and organically happen just because you started something.
All right, so I think I have a really good business idea, but where do I start?
So that's a great question. A lot of people always want to know, like, where do I get started? Like, I've had this idea for a year or two, and I just don't know where to start, right? I don't know what I need to do first. And the real answer is that there's no perfect starting point, right? There are a few things you can do in the beginning to set yourself up for success later down the road, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to define your business model. And a business model is essentially just what is the perfect scenario that your business looks like? What are your customers? How are you going to get customers? What's marketing? What is your unique value proposition, cost? What's your revenue models? Things like that, right? And business model canvas or lean model canvas, there are two different ones. They're a little bit different. Both of them are great, and they're one page. That's the good thing. A lot of people, when they say here business model or business plan, they think 30 to 90 page document that you spent 3 to 6 months of your life doing. And the problem with that is, one is you don't need it usually unless you're getting a business loan or some type of external funding. The other thing about it is sometimes you spent so much time that now you are married to this business plan that you don't want to deviate from it. You don't want to pivot from the business plan. And the problem with that is that could be the failure of your business, because maybe you get 3 months into your business and realize, hey, the people who I thought were going to be my customers are no longer there. That's not the demographic. But then you still try to market to that certain demographic, right? Instead of the people that are actually coming in and paying for your product or service. So definitely start with the lean model canvas or the business model canvas. And I know what you're saying, Jonathan, I don't even know what some of this stuff means. And that's okay, because I'm going to teach you in future videos about these kinds of things. But that's probably where I would start, is creating a business model.
So I have a business idea, but how do I know if it's a good one?
A lot of people, they wonder, like, how do I know that my business is going to be a good business or that it's not going to fail on day one and things like that, right? And so what I do recommend to people is do research. And I don't mean like go on Google and research businesses that are, similar to yours, right? That's called secondary research. What you want to do is you want to do primary market research, which means you're asking actual potential customers about the business you want to create. What I recommend is creating a 3 to 5 question survey, and then share that on social media, have people answer it, but don't just stop there, right? Because a lot of times now with the digital age, we want to sit behind our computers and we don't want to go out and do the real work, right? And you have to do that, right? You have to, get your feet on the pavement and get out there and ask questions. So what you want to do is you want to go to the mall or to, some big retail area, shopping center, whatever it is. Just walk around the parking lot and ask people, or just walk down the street. If you live in a busy metropolitan area, walk down the street and just stop people and say, hey, can I have a minute of your time? I'm trying to start a business. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to know if this sounds like something you would be interested in. And they'll give you, honest feedback. Now, you can't ask friends and family and all that, but friends and family, they want to try to be morally supportive and things like that, which is great. The problem is they're probably not going to give you the honest feedback you need to hear. If everyone tells you, yes, this is a business idea, 100% of people are like, yes, I would buy that, they're probably lying to you, right? Like, some people are going to be like, it's not for me, or no, I wouldn't pay that, right? So things you probably want to do in those questions are things like, how much would you pay for this service? How often would you use it? Different questions to find out, kind of, narrow that customer search down, which means, if you find the customers, then you probably know you have a good idea.
So I think I have a really good business idea, but I'm not really sure how to reach customers. How do I go about doing that?
Yeah, so like I just said, right? You just defined the customers and you went out and asked 1,000 people, and maybe, 70% of them came back and were like, great, I love it. Cool, you kind of found them. But now what you want to do is you really have to expand that out, right? 1,000 people is not enough customers to sustain most businesses. So what you need to do now is define your beachhead market. And what a beachhead market is it's essentially just your first, small market, right? Because a lot of people want to go, hey, get in a spreadsheet and go, hey, if I get, 0.1% of the population of China to sign up for my product or service, I'll be a billionaire. Or if I get 5% of the state of Florida to sign up. But let's narrow it down even smaller than that and go, if I get a certain amount of customers, a certain percentage of customers to sign up in the Tampa Bay area, right? That's a small enough area. You could probably find 1 million potential customers, which is about what you want to try to market to. Now, we know that your conversion isn't going to be 100%, so not all of them are going to sign up. But that's probably a good metric, is around 1 million potential customers to try to market to. The first thing you really need to do, though, is define a persona. If you kind of think you found your market, you've already asked your survey questions, right? So you've got a little bit of market data, as well that you've done on your own, plus you can do some secondary research. The next thing is to probably create this persona, right? And a persona is just what is your ideal customer? What do they look like? What are their habits? What do they like? What are their hobbies? What's the water cooler, if you will? Where do they hang out at? Things like that, right? Define all of those things. And once you get a good picture of this person, go find that person in real life. Ask them, hey, I think you would be a great candidate for my product, but I haven't developed it yet. And I just want to know if I have questions during the development phase of my product or business or service, whatever it is. Can I text you or email you or call you about these questions and get your honest feedback? Most people are going to be excited to help out. Most people are very open to things like that, especially if you're upfront about, hey, I'm not trying to sell you on this at all. I just think you would be a good fit. And so I think, there are other people out there that are just like you, and I'm trying to reach those people.
I think I have a really good business idea, but I also work a full-time job and I already feel stretched super thin. So how do you recommend that I go about finding the time to start this business?
Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, right? We have the same 7 days a week that your neighbor has. No one has any more or less time. The difference is that what do you do? How do you prioritize that time? You say, well, I work 2 jobs. I work, that's 16-hour days. Okay, while that does suck, you also get 2 lunch breaks. Spend your lunch break jotting down ideas. Take a notepad. Everybody has a smartphone. Start jotting ideas down on your smartphone about your business. If you do that every day, both lunch breaks, that's 7 hours a week you're spending on your business. Move the needle forward every day, right? I know some people, they say, well, I'm just going to work on Sunday on my business, and then or Saturdays, whatever it is, and then I'll just work hard through the week. And that's great, and that works for some people. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But what works best is the same approach you take to when you're learning a new instrument or you're learning a new language. You try to work on it a little bit each day, right? Some of you might be familiar with the theory of Kaizen, right? And it's just little changes over time make a big impact. So what you want to do is really take an hour a day or 30 minutes a day, and at the end of the week, you've got 7 hours or whatever it is put into your business instead of just going every Sunday, I'm going to do it. And then the next Sunday, now you've spent the first 2 hours kind of going over what you did the last 7 hours last Sunday, right? You're wasting time. It's not effective. And if you're working 2 jobs, you probably don't have a lot of time anyways. So time is probably one of our most valuable resources, so spend it wisely.
So I think I have a great business idea, but I feel like it costs a lot of money to start a business, and I don't even know where to start.
One of the limiting beliefs, I guess, I say, well, I can't really afford to do this. Well, the thing is that there's always a scaled back version. So a restaurant can be a food truck, or it can be a hot dog stand, or it can be you selling, setting up a grill and getting the proper permits, obviously, to sell at the farmer's market. You're selling hot dogs and hamburgers until you can raise funds to get the hot dog stand, to then get the food truck, to then get the restaurant, right? You can scale back and then go there. And you say, well, but I really want a restaurant. Well, how much do you really hate what you're doing right now to go, I'm going to start something, right? I'm going to get started right here today, and I'm going to do something small that I can start saving money. You take all that money you're selling hot dogs and hamburgers every weekend at the farmer's market, and eventually you will have enough to move forward. You may even find yourself finding new partners, people going, hey, I would love to help you out. How about we start a food truck together, right? So there's a lot of different things that are going to happen, and you're going to see things that just naturally and organically happen just because you started something. But if you don't start it and you don't do any of this, then the problem is that no one's going to gravitate to your idea based on an idea. Once they start seeing the product coming out, right, you're actually working towards it. People, they get motivated by that, and people want to help you a lot of times. Hey, Marvell here from Stridek, and I want to talk to you for a minute about the Start Something Challenge. The Start Something Challenge is a challenge for you to take that business idea that you've wanted to start for all these years, and now let's put something into action, right? The Start Something Challenge is real simple. Once a week or twice a week, I'm going to be putting videos out. Comment about things you need help with or what you're doing, right? And then I'll answer those in the next video. I'll answer your questions the best that I can. I have a decade of experience as a full-time entrepreneur, and I want to share my experience and knowledge with you to get you started, because I hear it all the time. I don't know where to start. It's not perfect. Well, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just start something.